The TimeScale node. This node allows you to control your game timescale, basically the passing of time. The default value is 1, but you can increase it or lower it depending on, or decrease it actually, depending on your needs. For example, if you want to pause the game and something is happening, you can pause everything and be able to use your UI. And I'm going to show you how you can use this node in various use cases. You can even speed up time if you want to do that. All right, let's get started. Where's the intro, of course? All right, let me move myself here. And first, we're gonna need a something in our game, something that should, I don't know, let's create a cube and let's write a simple script to rotate it in game time, not real time. So I'm gonna create a cube. There you go. Let's zoom in on it. All right. Let's also change its rotation just so it looks nicer. All right. So this is my cube. What am I seeing in my game view? Nothing. Why is that? Is my cube out of view? Let's increase our camera. Let's go to 3D and let's say, where is our camera? Yeah, let's move it -20. All right. Let's go into this space. Oh, come on. -20. And let's go here. All right, so now I have a cube. And when do I see it here? Perfect. Let's also add a light. Come on, directional light. Yeah, looks better. Let's change the light a bit so it looks even better. Yeah, something like that. And let's add one more and rotate it like so and make it way dimmer. So 0.2, yeah, 0.1. All right, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, perfect. So now I have my lights and I have my cube in my game view. And I would like to make this rotate over and over again with a basic script. So if I enter play mode, nothing happens. And let's write a script. Let's go to writer. And let's say assets, add. If this would work, would be fantastic. And let's say rotator, for example, sandbox. Let's add a namespace. Okay, ignore the namespace. I know it's not the proper one, but it's okay. And this should be a mono behavior. Oh, you already wrote it. All right, so now we need our, oh my God, this is amazing. It writes itself. Public game object target. And let's say, yeah, I would like a speed, of course. Come on, help me out here. Copilot. And do you know what I want to do? Yeah, this is what I want to do. Perfect. Actually, the speed should be 10, I think, to make it nicer. And let's also get the target automatically on validate. On validate, if target is get component game object, just so we have a nicer code and I do not have to drag and drop a reference. All right, this is a simple code, simple script. I hate the empty lines. Yeah, we have our rotator here. And let's just add our script right here. Why didn't it reset? Didn't validate. Reset. Yeah, perfect. And now let's reset it. Why aren't you working? Target on validate. Okay. I just want to get the reference automatically so I don't have to do it. So let's remove the component. Let's set it again. Perfect. So now if I enter play mode, it should rotate. It's a bit slow. Let's go a bit faster. Maybe 100. Yeah. All right. So I like this rotation. Let's also set it as the default rotation. So let's say here 100. Perfect. All right. I'm going to reset the rotator and leave it to validate, reset. Oh, we also need to do this in reset. Reset. Do you know what I want to do? No. Reset. And no, just copy this. Don't write whatever you want. Perfect. This is just good. What's that error? I don't care. All right. So let's see our cube. Let's reset. Let's remove component, drag and drop on this cube. Finally, we have our default settings. Sorry, I'm a bit obsessed with this. So let's continue. So right now I have this cube, and if you want to pause your game, you want to set your time scale to 0. And this is a project settings. Let's go to time. And here, I'm just going to anchor this here. So this is your time scale. If it can move faster, or it can move very slow, even go to 0. And this is where your game is paused. All right. So basically you want to go from 1 to 0. And you can also you can do that with the TimeScale node, as this node doesn't need anything from you. And you can also animate this change. And I'm going to show you how to do that. All right. So now we have our cube. Let's start and create some TimeScale nodes and some buttons just to play with this TimeScale value. All right. And I think I also want to be able to see the TimeScale here, so you don't have to open the project settings. So let's create a Text Mesh Pro. Let's anchor it up, move it a bit down, and this will be my time scale. All right. What am I seeing here? All right. So let's just put it like so. 64 minus 128. All right. Let's center this. So this will be where we will see our time scale. All right. So let's also write a script to get our time scale whenever it updates. Where do I want to do that? Here. All right. So let's create one more. And I'm going to say TimeScale info, for example. All right. And here, this is going to be another text mono behavior. All right. And we're going to have a public text mesh pro GUI and text. All right. And yeah, we can also do that. TimeScale. Yeah, we can do this on update. All right. Let's also ignore this. So no, come on, disable file. Perfect. And let's say reset. So text get component text mesh pro GUI if it's not there. Yeah, let's do that. Perfect. So let's come back here and let's attach our script to our time scale. And you will see that it gets updated, right? So add component. Actually, no, let me just drag and drop. All right, so now I have this info here. Let's enter play mode. And now I can see that my time scale is 1. All right, so if I play with it, you're gonna see it gets updated, 0, and there you go. All right, so now I no longer need to see this. I know it's the current time scale. So now now that you can see it and we can also see the value, let's start playing with it. All right, so I'm gonna create a graph, and I'm gonna say Doozy flow graph. Let's enter it. Come on, compile. Perfect. And I think the TimeScale the TimeScale node is under the time category. And here you have some options. You can say the target value. So what value would you like the TimeScale to be changed to when we pass through this node, and whether you want to animate or not the change. And of course, you also have some other options. Let's say wait for animation to finish. So let's play with it. All right. So I'm gonna say a UI node. Do we want some buttons? Yes, I want some buttons. I want to show you how this works. So I'm gonna call this my main menu. And let's also create some buttons. Let me open the buttons database and I'll say demo. And I'll say pause, unpause. And now let's say time scale 1, time scale 2, and time scale 3. I think I have a typo here. Time scale. All right, let's save. All right, so I have several buttons: pause, unpause, time scale 1, 2, and 3, and let's play with it. So let's also add our buttons here, demo, and say pause. So when we're pausing, I want my time scale to become 0, right? And I'm also going to use a portal node to come back to the main menu, so we don't have to do a lot of stuff. So let's say portal node. Yeah. And you should say category UI main menu. All right. And here I'll say signal node. Ignore these nodes. They're for something else, but I'm just using them to jump around. So UI, and here I'm going to say main menu. All right. Perfect. So when I press the pause button, I want to pause the game, right? And then come back to the main menu via this portal. So basically I'm pressing the demo, the pause button is jumping to this node, then it's gonna send the signal and the UI will jump here and come back to the main menu. All right, let's add some more buttons. So like I said, I want a pause and an unpause. So unpause. So for the unpause, I'm gonna say TimeScale Node 1, right? And you go here. Let's move on like so. And now we have, I want a few more TimeScale nodes. Let's put on, and one more. There you go. And let's change them. So I'm gonna say demo TimeScale 1. And let's say TimeScale 1, TimeScale 2, and TimeScale 3. And here I say unpause. And here I'm gonna say pause. Just so we know what we're doing. And let's also link our other two buttons. You'll see in a second why I'm doing this, because I want to show you several use cases depending on what fancy things you might want to do. All right, and let's also add the third one. You don't really need it, to be honest. Yeah, I think I made a few too many. All right. So now I have my UI right here. And this can, let's say timescale 1, you should go to 0.5 and animate. You should go to 2 and animate and wait for the animation to finish. And you should go to 2 and animate and don't wait for the animation to finish. All right. So yeah, we have this crazy thing. Now we need those buttons. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons. All right. And of course, we also need to add a flow controller to activate this flow graph. So I'm just going to do that. Let me move my head. So I'm going to say Nody flow controller, drag and drop my graph. All right. And now let's add the buttons down here. All right. So let's create an empty game object. Actually, no. Let's add a horizontal. So UI menu, layouts. Do I have a horizontal one? Yeah, perfect. So I'm just going to put it down right over here. And come on, come here. And position XY. Why am I not seeing the height? Oh, content size filter, remove component. All right, so middle center. Yeah, perfect. And now I'm gonna say a height of, let's say 64. Maybe 128. Yeah, something like that. And position 64. All right, so this is where our buttons will be held. Let's say spacing 32. And now let's add our buttons. Let's add a simple UI menu, components, again, a simple button. And this will be our pause. Let's rename it. And let's write here, let's say pause. All right. Let's duplicate, and this will be my unpause. All right. And again, let's say unpause. Let's rename it. Let's also change the label. Unpause. Let's add a space. Create empty. This will be my space. And let's say 32. Yeah, something like that. Just so we can have a little space between them. And now we have timescale 1. And I'm just going to say 1. Let's duplicate this timescale 2. All right. And let's write 2. And one more. And this will be our timescale 3. Let's rename, say 3. And I think now these buttons are a bit too much. So I say 56. All right. So I now have 1, 2, 3. All right. This is my UI. And I can now use it. Let's see what. So this is what we're seeing in our game view. Are you seeing this? Let's change the resolution a bit because I want you to see them a bit better. So let's go to our canvas scaler. Let's say 800 by 600. All right. This is a bit better for your eyes. So let's move this down. Let's say 0. Timescale, yeah, way better for you. Minus 32. All right, so now let's enter play mode and let's play with this a bit. And I'm gonna show you how it works. Flow controller, Nody. All right, perfect. Let's enter play mode. All right, so right now the timescale is 1, right? So if I press pause, it will jump through this node. It will set it to 0 and then go back to the main menu because we're sending a signal. This captures it. You'll see in a second. So I'm going to say pause. And now the timescale is 0. And I can also check it if edit, project settings, time. And you can see the timescale is set to 0 right now. All right. So if I say unpause, let's also put this here. Unpause, again, it's not an animation. and it will set it to 1 and then jump back to the main menu. So unpause. There you go. And now it jumped back. Now we have a few more options down here. So right here we have set it to 0.5. So basically it's moving slower, and animate it in 1 second. So basically you're gonna see this timescale animate, and the cube will move a bit, will move slower and slower until it reaches the target timescale. Actually, I'm gonna animate in 3 seconds. All the animations will last 3 seconds, so that we can see them. All right. So now if I click number 1, it will move slower in 3 seconds. So 1, and right now, as you can see, the timescale is moving slower. If I press number 2, it will increase to 2. Basically, the cube will move faster and faster because we're changing the timescale, right? So let's 2, and there you go. Now it goes up, right? It's faster and faster. Now you have this setting, wait for animation to finish. We have it here, we do not have it here. By the way, if you're trying to change the timescale to the same value, it will go instantly through your particular node. There you go. So let's go to 0.5. And now it's going like that. But you can also keep your UI held. So if I press the third one, actually this one, you will see that during the animation, the UI will stay in this node. You won't be able to do anything else. So let's say 5 seconds. So during it's gonna take 5 seconds to increase the time scale from 0.5 to 2. This is the value, all right? So the current value is 0.5 and I want to increase it to 2. So during these 5 seconds, the UI will be stuck here, and you might want to do that to avoid any other button presses or so on. So I'm going to press 2. And the UI is here during this transition. Once it's finished, it will go forward. All right. Now, if you do not want to do that, let's go back to 1. All right. You can use this option. Do not wait for animation to finish. Actually, I'm going to use the same node. All right. And you will see that it will start the animation. And after that, you will be able to use the UI. All right. So I'm going to press which one? Number 2, right? So number 2, it will jump through here and it will not stay in the node. So that's pretty much it for the timescale node. You can always use it in various ways. Let's say 1 in 0.5. So it will go to 1. Let's say 2 in 0.5 and wait. And let's say 3 in 0.5 and wait. Actually, let's say 1 second and wait. All right, so now I can say go to 2 and go to 3. And now let's pause the game. Let's unpause the game. How about we pause it with an animation? That's very easy to do. Let's unpause. I'm just gonna say animation in 1 second. All right. So if I say pause the game, there you go. It just stopped. Unpause the game instantly. Or again, let's unpause with an animation. So let's say 0.5, and let's also wait for animation to finish, and 0.5, and wait for animation. Actually, not wait for animation to finish. So unpause. Of course, it doesn't do anything. Pause, and it doesn't stop instantly. So basically, it's a nice effect to have things move a bit after that. Unpause. So that's pretty much it for the timescale node. It's quite easy to use, as you can see. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know what else I can tell you about it. It's a very easy to use node. You just put it there, you just connect to it, and yeah, that's it. All right. Thank you very much for this video. I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye bye.